Hello, and welcome to the series of comments, speculations, and observations. Today we'll be looking at the 4th episode of
Release right at the bottom and follow through. You got that?
I love Ragatha so much, man.
You're wasting your time, Raggy.
Just wait a second.
I really like that Jax is here to participate in this. He literally has no obligation to do so, but he chose to. And I think it's moments like this that hints that there's more to him than just this asshole persona he tries to play off to everyone.
Yeah, you got it. Jax!
I actually didn't mean to do that.
Also love how evident it is that Ragatha despises Jax. You know, she would not talk to anyone else in the circus the way she spoke to Jax here.
An accident.
Unbelievable. You are unbelievable.
Could be stretching, but I do like how it's not necessarily the fact that Jax hit Gangle that sets Ragatha off, but it's the fact that he was ruining a nice moment between them. A moment in which they got to bond over something that Ragatha loves, and I'd imagine give her less of a reason to play up her nice act. And I say this mainly because of her choice of words. She doesn't say, "Why did you hit her?" She said,
Why do you always gotta do this?
I don't know if it'll work, but it looks about the same shape as yours.
Oh.
The best part is it's plastic, so it won't break as easily.
I like how we see the contrast of Ragatha's rehearsed act of kindness with Zubo's genuine stumble act of kindness. Both serving to be there for Gangle in their own way, but one felt more genuine due to coincidence, not from direct intention, and I think it's little moments like this that inevitably pushed Gangle more towards Zubo by the later end of the show.
Yeah. Thank you, Zubul.
This is so adorable to me.
Guess you're never getting that unicorn horn, Pomni.
When did I ever say anything about that? I think you'd look good with one. Well,
Bro, not Pomni actually getting gaslit into this. For the record, though, I don't think she would look good with a unicorn horn. Also, speaking of gaslit,
Somebody say adventure!
Kang conveniently interrupting the gang's conversation.
Let's have one where we all work at a fast food place. Is that normal?
I really like these subtle reminders that even though he acts and sounds human at times, Kane is not.
Weird.
Well, see you guys when it's over. Not gonna be a wage slave for fun.
Completely valid. I too would sit this adventure out.
Just gonna be forced into this stupid adventure.
You can shut up now.
I really love this being the starting point of Kane no longer giving in to his urge to try to please Zubo or listen to their criticisms. Notice from here on out, Kane gets more and more harsh with them.
give it a swing. Being a shift manager was my job at one point.
It's kind of interesting to me that Gango would suggest this type of adventure in this game where you could literally make anything happen, including a theoretical adventure where you get to run a publishing company and make mangas, or even just outright live in that adapted manga. Oh, wait. I really like how petty Kane can be. Like, was Zubo following the entire time? Like, until the map was made?
And with that out of the way, let's get to work, guys.
I find it really interesting how quickly Gangle was able to jump back into gear like her last shift was yesterday, even though realistically, it's probably been years.
Oh no! It looks like I've taken Ragatha and dropped her in the deep fryer.
I find Ragatha's reaction here to be very poignant. How she chooses not to do anything when she clearly knows Jax is up to something. It feels like she's almost halted by the part of herself that needs to be liked by others. That same need to be perceived as someone who is lovable. And if she did fight back in this moment, she probably fears that it would take away from that image. And it makes me wonder if The only reason why she allowed herself to argue with him in the beginning of the episode is because in that scenario, she was not just arguing with him for herself, at least on paper. It was for Gangle.
The stupid burger. Last time I ordered it here, they forgot to add the sauce that makes you stupid. Don't forget the sauce.
Is that a thing we have?
I still kind of find it interesting that it took one of the characters in the show to outright bring up the fact that this is mind manipulation. Like, sure, this is within the adventure, but you guys forget that literally everything within this game that are not the members of the circus that was brought into the game is something that was made by Kane.
Gummy goo. Can't the job wait a bit? It's not like this is real.
Next you're gonna say my authority isn't real.
I understand that this is a mask. I can't imagine that Gangle is enjoying doing this any more than the members are participating. But damn, did she piss me off here.
I just want to wish you a pleasant day. Thanks for eating at Spudsy's.
There's been a lot of debate on whether or not Gummy Goo remembered Pomni here. And to me, I believe even if he didn't, for a good chunk of the interaction, he definitely did here.
Biohazard and needs a good scrubbing.
Well, I don't know. Shouldn't, Biohazard crew take care of that?
I really like the irony of this episode as we get to see the performance of the masked character when she's outside of the circus and how the other members of the circus performs when they're unmasked.
Bad.
I like you better when you're sad.
Maybe you just need some more training.
I'll be honest, I have mimicked this and laughed at this moment several times, but it is very poignant, sad, and relatable to reach this point where your reality in that moment has shattered so much that it literally forces you to freeze and regroup. I didn't really understand at the time why people said Gangle was such a good representation of neurodivergence when the episode came out, but since my own diagnosis, I not only understand this moment much better, but it has also recontextualized moments in my own life where something like this happened to me. And it just sucks. Functional freezing sucks.
Know what you're thinking? I don't want a career in fast food. I want to be a comic artist and eventually launch my own manga-inspired webcomic. And it's cool to have dreams, but you also need to remember that they're completely unrealistic, and you need to stop trying.
I do like that Jax is forced into this immediately after the comment he made, but it does hurt to hear Gangle's perspective, how she chose this life. She didn't feel at liberty to derive from it at all, but she doesn't like it. To have this part of yourself that can never really feel fulfilled or really be seen. This part of yourself that needs to be processed through passionate, that makes you feel alive, no matter how minuscule or diluted the field may be, how illogical it may feel to pursue. But you need to feel this to feel sane. And for a lot of us, you can't really compromise between the lanes, and you're shunned for it the entire time you try to find balance, while also hearing this replay in your mind by people you love, and in their heads are only doing this in your best interests, but they can never truly understand how much this means to you.
Before we get into all that, first things first. Are you smiling?
No.
Why not?
And then on top of that, you're not even allowed to feel miserable.
You know, a team works much better when we're all giving it 110% instead of, 5.
No offense, but you're kind of annoying when you have your happy mask.
And to make matters worse, once again, she is tarnished. But this time by someone I imagine opinion would matter a lot more to Gangle.
Great.
How long has this shift really gone on for? 6 hours? 8? 24? A week? A year? Does time even move in here? Will we ever go home? Will we ever achieve our dreams?
1. Bars. 2. Very accurate internal spiral at display here, especially after a horrible moment throughout your day or throughout your shifts that you hate, and thanks to time blindness, that ride from where you are to the end of your shift could literally feel like forever. Unless...
Yeah, that clock's broken.
Oh, Jax. I, hate you, but I don't want you to hate me. Is that weird?
You're drunk or something.
I like the characterization of Jax here. I feel like if he truly did despise Ragatha, this would be a perfect opportunity to insult her, but he doesn't. I feel like everyone needs to hit one of these every now and again.
You good? My comedy mask is usually broken by now. We're doing another one of these.
I was watching another video on Pomni throughout the show. Don't remember the name of the YouTuber, but they made a point that I feel like a lot of the fan base forgets about. Pomni is not a super empathetic character. She's been labeled that a lot, but I feel like people don't really understand. She's not a bad one, and I'm not saying she's incapable of empathy, but her empathy generally comes from her ability to feel for people whose situation resonates with her own, not just people who are in apparel like Gangle here. And to be fair, I feel like most people are like that. And this shows that not only she's not into that, she's also not fond of having to carry that responsibility, as she immediately follows up with,
Got work to do.
I know this is probably speculation, but I wonder if Pomni sat there in awe as long as she did because it bothered her that she can't really help Gangle, and she has to watch someone she probably doesn't deeply care about, but is in close enough orbit with enough to not want to see them in pain.
You know, when Ragatha gets off, I feel like she might need a designated driver.
Why are you asking me? I'm closing tonight.
Oh, no, I meant I'd drive her home.
Oh.
Where is their home? Like, how do they all just know where to go when their shift is over?
Hey. You know, I can close for you if you want. Huh? If you want to get out of here, you can. You don't have to be stuck here alone. I can handle closing.
I like this moment. Pomni may not be able to confide in Gangle in the way that she needs, but she is able to provide her some relief, i.e. by giving her the break that she knows she needs. I appreciate this because it shows that even if Pomni doesn't care about Gangle's problems, she does care about Gangle. I also admire the hesitation on Gangle to be relieved of this obligation, almost feeling too good to be true, even in spite of how drained she was up until this point, and how crushing the entire day has been. Her sense of obligation to the job still lingers, even if she doesn't want to be there. And that feeling in itself can be suffocating if you can't manage it. To battle your desire for freedom with the desire to follow through on what you quote unquote need to do, or being allowed to be you
versus maintaining this character that can and will do everything that needs to be done. But luckily, this doesn't stop Gangle.
I just cracked under the pressure, I suppose.
Well, that's gonna knock your overall score down to a B+. How's that sound?
Cade being so oblivious here is so tragically hilarious.
I am such a good.
I wonder if Cade actually glitches here because he does pick up on the fact that something's wrong with Gangle, and he knows what he just did didn't really help. And patting himself on the back doesn't really help himself either.
Look, the new mask was a bust. So what? I'm sure we'll find something that works eventually.
I don't deserve a friend like you.
Well, you've got one. Now, come on over and hang out with the rest of us. Bring your art too. I always like seeing what you draw.
I honestly feel like this was the most important moment of the entire episode. It's hard to juggle everything that goes on in your day-to-day and what's going on in your mind at the same time. You can give it your all, even do a good job, and it still not be enough. The world really just has this funny way of not giving a fuck about how well you may or may not fit or operate within it. And after a while, I feel like it's more important to make sure you are okay than to ensure your performances. And when you are suffering from mental illness and or neurodivergent, it can be really hard to do that. And it becomes just that much more important to make sure you are around the type of people that will make this extremely difficult task feel worth trying to bear every day. Anyways, I have no idea how to close these things. First time trying out something like this. Let me guys know what you think. If you liked it, leave a like. If you want to see more, please subscribe. And hopefully I'll see you guys soon.